second week in a row for a double feature lunch and learn. Last week was kind of a launch and learn because we were talking about a brand new feature. This week is kind of a brunch and learn because we're a little bit earlier today. So thank you for making time this morning to join us. This is the first time ever that we have had an outside guest on a lunch and learn, and I'm very excited to welcome Andriy. I was practicing his name before we started, Konovalenko. I hope I got that right.
Yes.
And he is one of the founders of QueSee. So that is the engine that is powering Sonar Retain. So he's going to talk us through that today. It is a super exciting feature that's really going to change the game for your QA processes and reducing your churn. Now, a little bit about Andre before we dive in. He is a very seasoned leader operating at the intersection of the telecom industry and AI. So he has spent years analyzing the challenges within the service provider space. He recognized the operators were drowning in raw data while missing the human context. So he founded QueSee to bridge that divide, and he's leveraging AI in a really interesting way to decode customer sentences. So he's helping you guys cut through the noise and uncover hidden signals that drive loyalty and retention. Now, I see Daniel's comment. No, you are not the only one here. We've got a full house today, Daniel. And as you have questions, you can pop them in the chat. There's also going to be a couple of polls up on the left side of the screen as we get into the presentation, so you can engage that way as well. Now, the agenda today is the same as it always is. We're going to be talking about what Sonar Retain is, how it works, how you can get started with it, and then there is a small section at the end for questions that you guys have. So as I said, pop them in the chat. I'll keep an eye on them, and we'll save them for the end to ask Andriy. Now I'm going to take this slide, which I normally don't, and just talk about what was previously in Sonar, which this is a really simple slide for me to go over because there was nothing. There was no native way of identifying churn risk or managing QA. And if you wanted to combine call, ticket, and network sentiment to address QA in a full bird's eye view, that would have required a custom integration. And what that meant is that churn risks and missed sales opportunities as well, I know Andrew's going to talk about that, were possibly identified too late to actually do anything about them. So I'm going to hand it over to Andrew now to talk about how Sonar Retain addresses all those things and how it actually works.
Thank you, Madeline. It's great to be on this lunch and learn with you and Sonar folks, and it's a good opportunity, and it's great that we met each other and partnered, and that's great to see like traction from Sonar customers using Sonar Retain now, and how it helps them to save customers, save time, and just stay ahead of this. Of the competition in the market, because it's getting stronger and stronger every day, and it's getting harder. Like we can feel the difference 1 year ago and today. It's a huge difference. Yeah, so saying about Sonar Retain and how it works, the main problem is you have all your data across different systems, right? Obviously you have a lot of data in Sonar, but some data available in your like pre-SIEM cloud, some data available on your Actify, some data available in your Calyx cloud, and usually you have to manually go and check this data, but it's not proactive, right? You do it when customer is calling, so the first miss is you can miss proactive opportunities. And then call intelligence. Calls is where we see the truth about what customers are saying about you, your service, their experience, their challenges, and also competition. So from calls you can get so many insights, but obviously we all can transcribe calls. But if you transcribe calls, then what's next? What can you do with this? Millions of or thousands, even thousands of transcribed calls. It's hard to analyze them. So where Sonar Retains helps, it unifies all your data across all your systems in one place, and you understand customer experience, customer churn drivers in real time, so you can act proactively. And obviously the next step would be for Sonar Retain to not just recommend next action, but also act and proactively follow up with customers, proactively reach out to them, proactively offer credits, or maybe offer this as a layer to agent to approve. So we can reduce this cognitive load on agents or on management, and help run bigger company with more subscribers with the same headcount, or with high skilled team on your board. So we connect to your systems. You don't have to change your phone system. That's what we hear the most exciting part for ISPs. They don't have to change anything. Just plug it in, and we get 100% calls processed right after the call recorded. Then we understand your business, so you don't have to set up Sonar Retain from scratch like other systems, right? You have to explain what you do, nature of your business, and then it's like 6 months. If you're lucky, it's implementation time. With Sonar Retain, it's overnight, right? We plug it in, and it's live, and then you'll get this churn risk and customer insights push back to Sonar. So I'll show it later, but you will see for every customer, churn risk, customer experience, churn drivers, and upsell opportunities assigned. So then you can use it for your reporting, for your team. And the best part is you also, with all this intelligence, as the side effect, you'll also get automated quality assurance on every call, on every customer interaction, and also automated coaching for your team. And what we noticed from like real agents using QueSee and Sonar Retain is they like this AI feedback on every call more than feedback from managers, because it's more consistent. They still need managers to review this, but it just covers everything. So it's not 5 random calls, and if you're lucky, it's good calls. If you're not lucky this week, it's the worst call you ever had, but it's 100% coverage. And can we go to the next slide? Yeah, so now I want to cover slightly more like in depth how it works. So first, as we mentioned, we unified all data. And it's not about just you having this page with data from different systems in one place. You're getting not data aggregated, but you're getting insights, like action items, what to do next, what's going on, reasons. You can get this based on your areas where you group your customers, or based on tower, so it can be tower level intelligence, and you understand competition in different areas, and then you can make proper business decisions how to solve these challenges, or where to invest, where you have more customers at risk, and you also see revenue at risk, because different customers, they have different value for your business. And after this enrichment, it goes to your Sonar instance, but at the same time, it also stays in Sonar Retain separate interface, where you can analyze this data in depth, and you can also use data insights tool, where you can ask any question about your customers, about your data, and this way you can find upsell opportunities, you can find customers with high churn risk, you can identify challenges your customers had today, and maybe your operation, your procedures, gaps, and how to address them. So it's easy for you and for your managers, and you don't have to have data scientists on your team. And what's good about this, we had multiple chats with like bigger telcos, and if you chat with Verizon or T-Mobile, they have similar systems, right? But it's all based on machine learning. It's based on numbers, statistics, because they have a lot of data, and it's not available like systems like they have. They're not available for smaller providers. First reason is lack of data. Second reason, even if you have data, it's all over the place, and it's a lot of work to organize your data and unify in a unified format. And this is what we solve with AI and Sonar Retain. You don't have to change your systems, don't have to aggregate your data anymore. We'll do it for you, and you can just benefit. So technically, we're solving this problem of taking unstructured data and transforming it into insights. But I think the best way is to demonstrate. So let's maybe do a quick demo. So let me share my screen. And if you have any questions, just leave them in chat, and soon, I guess in 2 or 3 minutes, we'll answer them. So it's the most exciting part. Okay. So you should be able to see my screen now, correct? Good. So this is Sonar Retain interface. After we connect your phone system to Sonar Retain, you would have this quality performance center where for today or for different time range, you can see number of calls, duration, average score across your calls, customer experience, churn risk. You can see how it's changing over time. But we understand that when you have even if it's just 100 calls per week, you cannot listen to every call. Now you have insights, but you cannot review insights for every call, right? So you want to get targeted insights. And how we see ISPs using it right now, they can customize and create, we call it smart flags. So you can highlight what's important for you. For example, you want to flag every call when competitive threat mentioned, or you want to flag internet speed complaints, or you want to flag price sensitive cancellation, or maybe viral compliant risk. So you want to set the specific flags, and it's all available just in plain English, so you don't have to be an engineer, you don't have to train models, it just explain what you want to be flagged, and Sonar Retain will take care of this. And then you will get alerts to your email, Slack, Teams, channels instantly, right after the call. So you can act immediately, and you can do proactive retention and proactive customer care. And or more generic way is just flag what requires manager attention, and you will get alerts again to your Teams or Slack with this calls where attention is required. So these calls in the system, they were real calls processed with Sonar Retain and then anonymized, and now you can see real results. So it's not just GPT generated mockups. It was real calls, but obviously agent name, everything was changed. We removed personal information from it, but at least you can see real examples, but with less details than in real world. So for example, this call, it was flagged. So you can see the reason why the call was flagged, and like this for every flag. So you don't have to spend days and nights reading through these calls. You know that this customer has a history of issues, extremely frustrated. How Sonar Retain knows this? Because we have all your history. Every ticket, every message, every email from the customer, previous calls, the entire history, and all this aggregated, and this way we can properly estimate experience and churn risk. Because customer calling and being unhappy after just the install, and customer who was with you for 2 years and it's their first issue, they definitely have different churn risk and customer experience, right? So we understand this. We understand their tone, their voice, everything about them. So then it's recommended that management involvement is required to address the root cause, and because agent didn't offer any credits to address this situation, right? Then you know who is the customer. You can go to customer profile. You can review insights from Sonar Retain, customer value, satisfaction, drivers, churn risk assessment, and you will also get automatically customers with low customer experience and high churn risk sent to retention queue, or you can manually flag them and you'll see them in your retention queue. So your managers, it's no longer an infinite list of tickets or customers. It's actionable place where they can take care of your customers, and you can see history of their actions. And it's also kind of small gamification for managers. They can see how much revenue they can save, and you can also see this, right? So their efforts, they're visualized and recognized. It's no longer just clicking on checkboxes. So you have your customers, you have calls for every customer, you have this insights, and but the next level, right? Your previous state, you had no insights. Now you have a lot of insights. So how to act? And this way you can obviously target your attention to subscribers at risk. You can understand why this subscriber was at risk, his experience. You can target prospects at risk if you have, and we also automatically identify customer stage of life. If it's prospect or active customer or churned customer or returning customer, you can see this. And but you can always go to data insights and you can ask questions about your calls or customers, or if you want to get this sent to your email every Monday, every Friday evening, report about your customer status this week, or your calls or your agent coaching and development templates. You can get this set up. And again, we're trying to eliminate manual interaction with Sonar Retain, because if, like, in this era of AI, if you build another product where people have to spend equal amount of time they already saved, it makes no sense, right? And right now with AI, we even have like self-healing SOPs where we keep listening to these calls and we help you to adjust and improve your SOPs on the go. So you don't have to manually do this. And we have so many product updates that we can't can keep up with sharing them. But yeah, so, and as an example of this data insights, so let's run a report, top 10 customers, experienced drivers for past 100 customers calling us. And you can see, again, it's real report. We can run any report in real time. You can just drop a message in chat. We can try it. And you can see top 10 customers, experienced drivers and retention risk, service reliability, support resolution efficiency, internet speed performance. You have customer name. You can click and go to the customer profile, but you can get this sent to your email with links as well. So recommended next actions, and you can customize templates like this. And our team will help you to customize, or you can get more like simple requests and coaching and development reports, for example. And but still, all this data, it's also available in your Sonar interface. So if you go to your customer, you will see this smart fields populated, custom fields populated, business intelligence, primary churn drivers, churn risk summary, churn risk, customer experience, account manager. It's standard, it's not from Sonar Retain. And this way you can also build your reporting, and it will be updated right after every call or every interaction with customer. And even more, it will be updated if you promised on the call that you will call back this customer in 2 days with a resolution. Sonar Retain will automatically rescore customer profile in 2 days. And if you didn't call the customer, it will be accounted in customer experience and churn risk. So again, we just apply an AI where it's most useful in data transformation, aggregation, extracting insights, but we're not replacing agents, we're not replacing managers. Obviously, you can automate your calls and do some simple billing, but what we hear from providers, if you want to retain every customer possible, human involvement is required, because you need this emotional support for at least next couple of years, I would say. Yeah, so welcome to Sonar Retain. Yeah, I think I can stop sharing my screen, and if we would need to do another demo or specific features, I'll share it again.
Yeah, I think our next slide is just how do you get started, and then there are some, I'm not going to show the slides because there are some questions, and I'm sure they're going to want to see the screen as you're walking through the answers. So before we get to that though, tell our Sonar customers how they can get signed up for Sonar Retain, and a little bit about this 14 free day trial we promised them for showing up today.
Wow, I see questions in chat and I'm excited. Wow, it's I'm excited to answer.
So before we get to those, and especially Zach, he has a lot, so I want to leave time for that, and we have 10 full minutes. But how do people get started, and how do they sign up for the 14-day trial so they can see these benefits themselves? Because I think that is super valuable.
Yeah, so we found that once you try Sonar Retain, there's no way back. As a gift for end of the year, we're offering 14 days Sonar Retain trial, and we don't charge any integration fees, setup fees, and you can get live on Sonar Retain pretty much in like 5 to 10 working days, depending on which phone system you use. But we already integrated with more than 10 different phone systems, so there's a high chance that you can go live on Sonar Retain the next day.
Amazing.
I guess after the webinar, we'll share the link. and send an email where you can sign up and get access to this 14 days trial, or you can just contact your Sonar representative, and they should be aware of this promo, right?
Yes, they absolutely are. So I'll send out an email with a link. But if you don't receive that for any reason, your CRM can also help get the, or you just want to maybe chat more about it with Andre or someone from Sonar, that we can set up a demo as well. Um, okay, so many questions. I'll go with the first one, which I think is when you were on the dashboard. Carol asks, can you please explain the other risk categories?
Yes. Carol, if you can clarify, are you asking about this data insights page or about the dashboard? But I guess it was 8 minutes ago, so it could be about this insights. Let me share my screen again so I can demonstrate. Yeah, so yeah, let me check chat. Okay, so on this in this section, if we're talking about customers, you have churn risk and customer experience score assigned, and this churn risk, and you can also see confidence level. Why we'll set it confidence level? Because it depends how much data we were able to collect about the customer for this moment of scoring, right? If we only have one call and this customer profile is not in Sonar, obviously confidence is lower. If we have insights from QueSee, if we have insights from Calyx Cloud, we have data from Sonar, and we have history of calls, then it's higher, and we can, with better precision, identify experience and churn risk. And for every metric in Sonar Retain, you have explanation. So you will see why we assess this customer churn risk as medium high. So poor radio connection, non-functional new shop line, and unresolved technical issues, recent service failures, strong churn triggers. Again, usually you will have more comprehensive explanation, but we had to remove a lot of information from here because it's anonymized. But once you can try it, and you will see how it works on your data. And then you have churn drivers. If you were asking about data insights and top 10 churn drivers, then they are based 100% of your data. So it's AI defining these customer experience drivers based on calls, based on customer experience in your customer base. So they're not preset. And when you run this query, you can specify what you're looking for specifically. So this way you can make this report tailored to your needs. So I hope it was answered your question, but if not, just let me know, and I'll answer it for sure.
I'm keeping track of the chat here, and she's looking for something on the dashboard. Reference something viral. Okay, so this is the right page. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. So for this, we call it smart flags. So the way it works, custom fields. So the way it works, you can explain to Sonar Retain and like QC system what do you want to identify, and for every call, we'll analyze it for this specific feature. And if you want to extract customer needs, we'll extract them, and you'll have them available for reporting. If you want to flag calls, you can also do that. The way it works. So for viral compliant risk, we can check settings. So the instruction for this is if customer mentioned social media online reviews or telling everyone about poor experience, we'll flag this call. But you can always go back and say, and if this customer say A, B, C, D, and you can also say never flag if. So it's easy. You don't have to be a developer. You can just explain with English, and then on the back end, we'll turn this into proper instruction, and we'll use it for call assessment and flag. And we have templates, so you don't have to do this from scratch. We have 70 templates or so for customer experience, for compliance, for operation intelligence, for service quality resolution issues, for sales and installation intelligence. And also what we found, we also have positive flags. So for you as a manager, you want to see all the negative, right? What's important to save the customer or understand like competition in this area. But for agents, they have separate UI with only their calls and their scores and department average. So for them, you can display positive flags, like um, masterful de-escalation, or exceptional sale, or exceptional save execution. And this way, every Monday or every Friday evening, they can get a personalized report what they did great and maybe where they need improvement, because it's a hard work doing call center and sales and support on the phone. So we want to, recognize the efforts, because usually every system, especially when we talk about phone calls, it's mostly about negative, because people they don't call you to say thank you for good Wi-Fi today, right? So we want also to flag positives.
Amazing. Um, Carol, I do see your questions here. I'm gonna put, I know Tim from QC is also in the audience and he's put some answers in the chat. I'm gonna add a little bit, but Zach has a lot of questions that I want to get to as well. Now, we're not gonna have time to get to everyone's questions. I think we have time for one more, but Andre is demoing these on the regular with Sonar clients. So, like I said, the free trial is there. You can set up the free trial and then set up a call with Andre and the Sonar team if you want to go over specific examples with your own data. That's a really amazing opportunity to not just see the software, but see it with your own data, set some things up that you would like to see. So what's Zach's got a long list here. I this one I would love to address. So is processing real time, post call, or both? I think that's a great question that probably a lot of people are wondering.
Yes, that's a good question. So we tested different options. We found that post call immediately, post call is the best option, and now you get cost to quality and to performance ratio and to ROI justification for you. So we analyze it right after the call. This way, agents they'll get. Actually, I didn't show this. I think agents they'll get instant feedback for every criteria and every SOP you defined. It's similar to Flex. So you define how you want your agents to handle calls, and they'll be graded for this. So they will see their scores instantly after the call, and quality is exceptional. So you can rely on this, and they will trust this data, and you will get instant alerts, and it's still enough time to save the customer. Eventually, we can also do live if you prefer, but price point is different, and yeah, so we can discuss with you if you specifically looking for live intelligence.
Fantastic. Now, there are a couple questions about price here, but I'm going to redirect that again to that would be a conversation that you would have with your CRM once you're in the platform, because it's really dependent on sometimes the complexity, but mostly the subscriber count. I will direct you to talk to your client relations manager about that. Um, I think we're at time here. There are so many great questions we didn't get answered. I'm going to grab all of these and I'll talk to Andre after, and maybe we can include some of the answers to these in our follow-up email. Um, but thank you everyone so much for joining us today. Andre, this was fantastic. Every time I see this, I get so excited, and the functionality has changed since I saw it a month ago. It's even more comprehensive. So I'm also really excited to see where this goes over the next 6 months. If this is already how much improvements and new features we have. So thank you again. There's so much to show here. I feel like we just touched the tip of the iceberg. So maybe we'll have you back in the new year, Andre, because we could do a whole other lunch and learn on this. This was fantastic.
Maybe today's evening.
Yeah.
Dinner and one, yeah. Yeah, I wish we had more time, but madam, do we have, I don't know, 5 more minutes? We can.
Sure. If I have 5 minutes, so if you want to look at the list of questions,
Yes.
Andre, and maybe pick your favorite, and we'll end on that before we let people get back to their days.
Yes, yes. I can quickly go through Zach's questions because I think it's most of the questions other people will ask too. So processing post-call immediately, and like 2 minutes after the call is completed, you'll get full picture and completely scored call and updated customer experience. Languages, right now we have customers operating in Portuguese, Spanish, and English, but we support top 15 languages. So the most popular 15, 10 to 15 languages. So we definitely support your language. Also, yes, French for sure. So what platforms supported today? NetSapiens, Aterel, 3CX, Vital PBX, custom on-premise asterisk deployments, Ring Central, Nice. I probably missed something, but even if we don't support your system, we'll get it integrated in 5 to 10 working days. This is our commitment, and we never delayed this, except for Nice, because we were waiting for, not Nice, but a different system. We were waiting for them to provide access to the API. So the next question is, yes, how does performance change with crosstalk? Oh, that's my favorite. So when we were testing the system, we had system identified 3 speakers, but we only had 2 speakers on the phone. And when we manually re-listened to the call, so it was able to identify the speaker on the background, the father of the person who called, answering somewhere like far in the background which router they use, and it was in the transcription saying that like the father say that they use TP-Link, and I had to listen twice or maybe 2 or 3 times just to actually understand what he was saying. Yes, it's really good. I'm impressed, and it's not because we built this, but sometimes I use it to transcribe our meetings just with customers to get insights, because it works better than other transcription tools, because the way it's built, and it understands your like it understands telecom terms, and background noise, echo level in speakers, and noise reduction. Yeah, so we don't have to worry about noise reduction, echo. It will work for sure, and we have, I think, 50,000 calls per month analyzed, maybe 100,000 calls. So it's working in production. It's very well. Low confidence segments flagged. For I would need to clarify this question to answer. So analyzing. Oh, that's a really good question. You saw that you can play back the call, but we don't store your call recordings. That's a really good question. So you keep your call recordings, they will stay in your server, and every time you click play, our system will go back and pull this recording, and you will be able to listen to it in your browser. But we don't keep your recordings. And we don't train models on your data. Everything is encrypted and secure, and we don't use it for training, and you own your data. So we act as data processor on your behalf. And it's not shared across instances or across customers. Your data is your data, and only you benefit from it. And we also don't keep full transcripts, so we don't keep secret and personal information in system. So it's the same way as your CRM, right? You already have all this data, and technically you can ask someone to listen to every call and make notes, but it's just automatic. So it's as simple as having AI CRM or OSS. Compliance standard, we're getting SOC 2 Type 2 compliance next year, but right now we just use only SOC 2 Type 2 compliant infrastructure, like AWS, Google Cloud. So we only use secure infrastructure, and we also have very limited and restricted access to production. So development team, they don't operate on your data. They only use mock data. That's why sometimes integration take like 10 days, because we have a separate person doing tests in production with access to production, and developers developing integrations. Slightly complicated for us, but way more secure. And can summaries and action items formats can be customized and sync to CRM? Yes, you can sync it to CRM. You can automatically create tickets, or you can create ticket from interface, and you can customize everything. You can customize how do you want to summarize calls. You can customize how you want to score every criteria. You can customize how you want to define next action items. It's fully customizable. But again, we have standard template how you can start, so you can get value right away, and then you can start customizing, because we understand that you definitely don't have 10 days to spend to implement new system. So with Sonar Retain, it's very easy. Yes, we have APIs, so you can pull data via API, and it's a JSON format. Typical
I'm
call from
I'm so impressed by how fast you got through all those questions, Andre. And I was sitting there learning as well. Yes, I think it's really important to note that it's very customizable, but QC has done a lot of the work if you just want to plug and play system. So I think we got through most of the questions. I think all of the questions. So thank you again. Thank you for spending the extra time with us if you did stay, which it looks like most of us did. So those questions were obviously important and interesting to everyone. Again, if you have any questions or follow up, our CRMs can set a meeting with Andre, and you can talk to him directly as well for any additional questions. So this is our last Lunch and Learn of the year. So everyone have a fantastic Christmas. And thank you again, Andre. You as well. Have a great Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and see you soon on Sonar Retain meetings.
Yes.
Right. Thanks everyone. Thank you for questions.